Diane Pearson's on the call. How are you doing, Diane?
I'm okay, thank you, Crispin. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
Now, was it you and your husband that was expelled together, or was it just
No,
you?
just me, but the three of us, my husband as well, and as my son, we've all decided, they decided to resign in
support,
solidarity with me. Yes.
Now, I saw your letter that you wrote to Keir Starmer, and I thought it would be interesting for people to hear what you wrote to him. Is it okay for you to read that out for us?
I've got a bit of a precursor as well as to what led up to it. So yes, it's not very long, but I'll read it all through if you don't mind. You suggested.
Sure, yeah, please do. Yeah.
Okay, I will. Okay, all right. Now, as a precursor to my expulsion, I had a letter from the disputes team in April on my birthday, as it happened. I was doing jury service, and it was during one of my breaks. I looked at my emails and I thought, this is just what I want to see during this time. And it was warning me about my behaviour, specifically for retweeting Simon McGinn and Chris Williamson about all things anti-Semitic, as we always do, you know. I then had a letter in early June with a couple of screenshots of me being a member of Labour Left Alliance and Socialist Labour Network, one specifically asking for a motion on the way forward with the Ford report. I didn't reply. Then on Friday night, or Friday during the day, yes, I had the big expulsion letter. I put together a bit of a letter on Friday night on the way home. Then on the way home from a family swimming session on yesterday morning, who should we see but Starmer coming towards us, waving and saying hello, as he does. The three of us just stood there and looked at him. He asked how we were, and that lit the blue touch paper for me. I said, I've been kicked out because of your stupid rules. Oh, I didn't realise that, he said. I'll look into that. I said, yes, and all three of us have now left the party. All the time he was cringing as people who walked by stopped to listen. I said, yes, and look out for an email because I'm going to write to you and tell you what I think of you. And he shuffled down Angler's Lane, which was where we met him. And I think he was with Asif Kaplan, his social media troller. A nasty little piece of work. This is my letter to him that I sent yesterday. Dear Keir, as I told you in the street today, I was kicked out of the Labour Party yesterday, 7th of July. I have to say I am relieved, as being a member in Holborn and St Pancras CLP has become like being in a viper's nest. I was kicked out for being a member of a prescribed group, utterly ludicrous. I recall that on the 19th of November, 2021, you were on Radio 4 Today programme, and you said, among other things, in reference to MPs lobbying and second jobs, don't penalise people now for doing things in the past that were allowed at the time, which is exactly what you are doing with regards to purging the left members that you and your friends, Evans, Blair and Mandelson, among others, want rid of. Many Jewish members have been purged for their support of Palestine and BDS. This is pure anti-Semitism. I didn't vote for you to be my MP, and I am so glad my instinct was right. I would have hoped for better, you being a human rights lawyer. You are certainly no politician and will never be. I hoped you would be honest and fair and not a liar like Johnson, but you are no better. You used the very popular 2019 Labour Party manifesto, fully costed, to get elected as leader, as you knew you would woo those who hadn't already seen through you. Then, as soon as you got elected, you used the state of the country as an excuse to ditch every single pledge. You were also the cause of the 2019 election result, although you can never bring yourself to admit it, and now you blame others. If you hadn't dreamt up the sentence at the 2018 conference about having another referendum with the option to remain on the ballot paper, Labour would have done better than they did by following the country's wish to exit the EU, as happened in 2017. Jeremy Corbyn should have sacked you on the spot, but unlike you, he is an honourable man. Of course, Labour did so well in 2017, but you and your cronies have decided to airbrush that result from history. It is now clear that despite having been a key member of Jeremy Corbyn's team and calling him a friend, that you were always working to undermine him and his policies. which were supported by the majority of the country. Now you have withdrawn the whip from lifelong socialists like Jeremy, Diane Abbott, Claudia Webb, and others, which is not in your remit, while welcoming Christian Wakeford, Luciana Berger, and others who have all at times belonged to other parties. On the subject of lies, I cannot forgive the people who selected the recent batch of Camden councillors in your name. The interviews that standing left-wing councillors went through, my husband included, carried very disproportionate aggressiveness compared to right-wing candidates, not to mention the inaccurate information that was put in front of the candidates by the interviewing panels. 3-hour-long interviews filled with inaccurate information passed on by the Chief Whip. Absolutely disgusting and deplorable. Very much like what is happening now. How can you deny Jamie Driscoll from standing on the long list when he has done so much for the area and proved that he is a very good mayor? You are so dishonourable. However much I want to be rid of the Tories, I really fear this country should become PM. Should you become PM? For 13 years, I knocked on doors, I delivered leaflets, I fundraised, I ran branch meetings, and now it has come to this. Your former friend, Diane Pearson.
Wow.
That's my bit.
Well, that's thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, I don't know what you'll be doing in the next election in Holborn and St Pancras. I guess you'll find it hard to vote for Keir Starmer.
I couldn't vote for him. I didn't vote for him I didn't vote Labour in the local council elections last year in London. No.
Right. Well, once again, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for letting me share my lesson.
And also, thanks for your support from your family as well. Good to know there's solidarity exists.
It is.
Now, yeah, just see at the back there. Thank you, Simon.